Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of our program, Sports Business with Veronica, where we talk nothing but the financials to sport, understanding and trying to dissect all the business transactions that take place in sport. Joining me in studio today, on set today is the Zifa Technical Director, Jethro Hunidzarira, a man they know as Chemi during his playing days. I hear he was a lethal midfielder during his days at Zimbabwe Saints. Welcome to the program, TD.
Thank you very much, Madam Vel.
Ko Chemi zvaifamba sei apa zvinomboyadzorevei kana tichiti Chemi?
My late sister, may soul rest in peace.
Yes.
Akandipa this name because ndaite aita ndainyanya chema stress aigara chituna mama ai mwana wenyu anochema too much anochemerei anochemerei, so it was chemerei. That's what she used to say. Mugara chemerei, and then it just turned over now to just Chemi, and then Chemi became the name.
Okay. And down to business, you are the technical director for our National Association of Football. And being the technical director, what's your role in football in Zimbabwe?
Thank you very much, Madam. My role is to deal with particular issues of development, football development throughout the country, which will include coach education and grassroots and youth football programs, everything to do with development, mostly for both boys and girls.
Okay. And my understanding is when we look at development, some ground chete, but there's also a lot of financial investment that's needed in terms of development. And imimi kana tichtarisa what we call football business. What's your understanding of football business?
Football business, I think, is a situation where, from a financial point of view, football must make money, stakeholders must also make money.
Yes.
So we should create an environment in football where the corporate world is prepared to invest their money in return of a good product.
Okay. And talking of the corporates, the football side, the corporate side, making football a business, making money out of football. So when we look at Zimbabwe, you are a former player. Take through your time when you were still a player. The issues of remuneration, that's say for you guys as players, and do you feel you were being appreciated enough when we talk of figures?
Yeah, I will say back then, mostly it was an issue of getting a career. If the football team could get you a job and you were working and you were paid, and then at the club you'll get something little, but you'll get bonuses. By then I think it was fair at that time because the financial situation, I think it was I think averagely good. Like you find players, maybe let's say a team like Red Seal Rovers, you go and play for Red Seal Rovers, they employ you at Red Seal, you work at Red Seal. So you know you've got something that can sustain you outside football. So this is what was happening. And then even if you wanted to go to school, some companies would take you to school. Some institutions like let's say they will get players and then they will allow them to be apprentices in return for them providing services. So they will give you a lifetime career in return for your service of football. So then it wasn't a question of money as such. It was a question of having a job.
Okay.
And then those who couldn't, teams will carry them. And then people were bringing in money. And I think you find that officials basically were prepared to chip in with their monies to help the players that didn't have anything for themselves.
Okay. So, wapinda iwewe maybe wapiwa basa ku Red Seal, were you getting the good grades in such a way yakuti you were able maybe to buy dzimba, to take your kids through school, or ranga ringori basa rekuti you can just bring food on the table but you couldn't really invest much in terms of properties? Or
then it was you could afford to look after your family. Yes, I mean, buying, investing in like in a house, it was a long call, but it's something that you could afford because the companies would even organize a loan for you that you'd pay throughout, you know. So the environment was easily accessible for, you know, allowing people to do anything that they wanted to do. But I think then it was averagely okay. We're not only depending on money. It was the things that they, like the job in particular that we're being offered. Because if you look at most of the players, they made careers in Wange, at Zisco Steel, at Rio Tinto. Some of them are still there today because of that.
Okay.
Yes.
So, Imimi, after your playing your playing days, you then left and went to Botswana for close to 3 decades there.
Yes.
Although you were very much in touch with local football,
Yes.
what are some of the issues that you picked along the way in your involvement, despite being away there? Pamuno feel like maybe if we revisit this, we are going to restore dignity within our football.
Yeah, I think mostly it's unfortunate. I think we ignored the youth development side. You know, our youth football crumbled.
Yes.
We never took care of it. And I mean, like we all say now, maybe the last crop of players that came in from youth football was on Akama Billiards and the lot. So since then, we cannot point at players that we can actually say these are the boys that have gone through the system. There are very few. So the players that have managed to go out now, they are individuals who are coming from certain youth clubs or certain academies.
Yes.
We don't have a situation where you've got a whole team that looks forward, like let's say at Capes or Highlanders, where you knew Highlanders with an under 19 that is destined to become the first team. And then, so I think it was generally that we ignored youth football, and as such we ignored grassroots football. And then I think there was an issue also with the schools. I think I hope I'm right, where there was an issue of teachers now wanting to be remunerated for coaching football at schools. And then I think it became an issue at schools. And then, so something there died. Something died. Because, I mean, like we were saying, at our age, we were playing football at school. We were playing football at the youth club. We were playing football at the junior for a team. So basically, you are coached by 3 people. You play 3 games in a week, competitive games. But all this has since died. We need to go back there.
All right. And us going back, it needs financial backup. And as the technical director, it's been a year now being in office. Obviously, when you came, you had a lot of burning issues. You had priorities lined down. Which are some of these priorities, and how far have you gone in trying to address them?
Basically, it was an issue of reviving the youth development structures from grassroots to youth.
Yes.
But now, the backbone of all this is the structure that is supposed to be within the development system. Because like you see, there's no proper relationship development-wise between the secretariat, the regions, and the provinces. And yet at the provinces, that's where development is. So you find there was nothing that was happening between, the relationship was not there. Hence, now we had to start going back to look at that before we even dreamt of putting down whatever we wanted to put down. We had to prepare like the foundation. Make sure that we have got a good relationship, making sure that not all the work comes from the secretariat. We need to decentralize this. Have people in the districts who will take care of the area zones. Have people in the province who will take care of the districts. And then people in the regions. When we do that, you know, all this will cascade down. And then we just have to, you know, empower people with programs that we supervise. But right now, there's nothing. It's just individuals who are having juniors there. And then I would like to praise, I've been around and I've found a lot of unqualified people who are very passionate, who are coaching kids. You go to the Zigo grounds there, you go to Ononalo Bengula, and then you find there's somebody who is there. He's running with his kids, but he's not qualified. So actually now with the head of coach education, we are designing a program where we would request the executive to allow us to give these guys free coaching because of what they are doing. so that those are the people that drive our development, honestly. Because if you go back, you look at Onamkoma Ali, Onamkoma Jani, the guy was at context team Graboski. He's the one who took all those boys from Chitungiza, identified them, but he was not a qualified coach. So these are the people that we need to empower, because it's the passion. Those people, we have to have passion. And then this is why we say we need people who come to football for the passion and growth of our football. That is what is very important.
Or yatengwa downtown and stuff, then PUMA also comes out. Ishiti, we are not in a kit deal with Zimbabwe. So we just want to understand kuti zviri kumbofamba sei makits atiri kuzoona kuzobuda yatiri kupfeka ari kumbonyatsobva kupi, and was PUMA ever in this deal?
Deal with PUMA. Yeah, no, the kit issue, the problem was when we came in, we found out that the Umbro relationship with Zifa had somehow frozen. It was not existing. So the marketing division, they had some talks with PUMA. But by then, it was not, they had not sealed the deal. And I think our marketing had promised them that also to show that we were going to deal with them. So we, in a couple of days, we were supposed to have a kit because we were going to play the tournament. So we raised PUMA in Cape Town. They said, we don't have anything. So we spoke to the agents in Joburg. The agent said, okay, fine. We can pick up from our shops, from different shops. Because then it was, there was no staff. It was just at the period where they were changing kits. So the PUMA agent who is in Joburg is one who said, okay, fine, we'll look for kits all over. So they were pulling kits from their different shops to help us in that situation. So it was because we were creating that platform for the PUMA deal that our marketing team was working on, which is one that is dressing us now. Yes. So I know people will have issues, but like I say, people will want to say things about, but the truth is that we are starting somewhere with PUMA, coming from Umbre. And so we had to make sure that we impress PUMA to see that we really wanted to. And then we got the stuff from them. Yes. Those are the people that drive our development, honestly. Because if you go back, you look at Onamkoma Ali, Onamkoma Jani, the guy was at context team Graboski. He's the one who took all those boys from Chitungiza, identified them, but he was not a qualified coach. So these are the people that we need to empower, because it's the passion. Those people, we have to have passion. And then this is why we say we need people who come to football for the passion and growth of our football. That is what is very important.
All right, talking about what has been happening so far, how best we can revive our football and at junior level. But tichitarisa kudhara tidi, there was that good relationship between the guys with development and the corporate world in such a way yekuti mwana aienda kunotamba bhora aitouya akabata hamba kuvabereki vake, and the parents would be happy to let their kids go back again next weekend anonotamba because they are bringing something back home. Even ana Olivini mwana aiuya akatakura kana box remafuta and stuff, but we don't see that anymore these days. And imimi as Zifa, do you feel you are getting enough backup financially from the government and maybe from obvious FIFA allocations? I don't know how much they are kuti FIFA allocations are kusvika here could develop grassroots development, and also the corporate world, are they still keen in supporting development of football?
Yeah, if you look at it, I hope people don't get aggrieved, But the honest truth is, one, the corporate world comes in an environment where they trust the people who are in charge. Back then, like what we're talking about, we had individuals who were sacrificing. They were sacrificing to lead junior football, and then go out there to the corporate world and look for any kind of support. And it was translated. That's how you could see kids taking home a hamper or something like that. But I think the most important thing is the issue of trust. Nobody wants to bring in his resources in an environment that he doesn't trust. So we need to have people who are trustworthy and who can show it by act. Because, it's difficult to build a relationship, to build trust, but very easy to break it. One incident of unfaithfulness, it breaks everything. Yes. And then we need the corporate world to support us, but we also need to make sure that we've got a clean product, a marketable product. If they see our development system in good space, we are doing good things in the areas where we are doing development, they can pass by and watch and see the kids being trained properly, playing competitive games properly, then we can go and entice them and invite them with the product that we have. That's the key. I think for me that's the key issue
of accountability
and transparency. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes. But in terms of even the government support and the FIFA allocation, do you think it's enough for you guys to sustain the resuscitated development and also sustain the senior national team?
Yeah, the issue of like the FIFA funds, from the knowledge that I have, I think 80% of that money must be coming for development and coach education. Yes. And then the 20% is maybe for administration, running the secretariat. So it's an environment where we are saying the people who come in, they must go out and source more resources to add on what we have got. Okay. Because our development is not even standing on a leg, it's limping. So we need to back it up. And to back it up, with the economic situation we've got, people want to get something. Right now you have a coach who is qualified. He would prefer to be a third assistant or fourth assistant, just to bring cons and put them in the ground and get something at the end of that, than going to spend his day with the little kids on the ground where he's getting no remuneration. So you see that, for me, that is one of the very, very crucial issues that we've got. We need an element of remuneration for these people who are doing grassroots. But we should have a proper structure that the association, through the provinces, we can run that and identify people and make sure that we are doing things the right way.
All right. And coming in, Panyaye Kuti, we need to have proper structures that can inspire confidence kuma corporates kuti vauye to support our programs in research, in trying to revive football at grassroots level. Do you feel that we have the conducive environment, or so far tichori mu chaos yekutoti pari kutoda kutotangidzwa kuti one?
Basically, we would say we are almost starting afresh, but the passion that Zimbabwean people have got for football, it can get us to where we want to go, as long as we are honest and transparent. Right. The passion is there, and undoubted, but we need to progress. There should be transparency and honesty.
Okay. And looking at 2025, Tomboti 2024, since you came in February, maybe some of the things, some of the way you would have wanted, but maybe starting a new year, what are some of the major issues that you really wish to see change, or zamato tanga kufambira kuti we need to change 1, 2, 3?
Most importantly, we have approached the Minister of Education and Sport, since they anointed the sports season to be throughout the year. Yes. Now we've got arrangements to meet on our NAF, NESH, on our ATS and all the educational streams, yes, to arrange a calendar for the whole year. Okay. So we'll be meeting them sometime in the coming few days. So I think that's where the start is. Mm-hmm. But once we're on that, we need to revive our youth leagues in the provinces, because they are the ones who are going to be working in conjunction with the schools. Because those kids that we need are the kids that are in schools, are the ones who will be competing out there. So we need to put that in place. We need to have, like what we're envisaging is to have a regional technical officer for both male and female, and a provincial technical officer, both male and female, and a district one, so that these people, we empower them to take care of issues there. It doesn't have to be the technical director and the technical director's office that takes care of things with it. Somebody must be there. We need to empower somebody. Me, I believe people will deliver if they feel that they're in a position where they make decisions also. They contribute. They're not just messengers.
All right.
Yeah, so we need to have that kind of organogram where we have those people in place.
All right.
Yeah.
But looking at that issue, it's one story to have an organogram whereby everyone is so hands-on, they feel they are part of the team and they do it willingly. But it's also another story, having marketing systems that can lure sponsorship. So in terms of trying to secure my finances, what have we done?
We've got a marketing department that we had currently. But you'll see that the main priority was to assist the senior national team. It's a problem that as a nation we have. We want to identify the status of our football through the way the senior teams perform.
Yes.
Which is right. It's a reflection. But we have to also make sure that the foundation and the transgression going up to the senior team, there are players who are coming through the system. Yes. The system has to be there. It must not be just that we are relying on these players when they are gone. We struggle for another 12 years to get a team that comes in place. So it's a situation where we want this chain to stay active. So I want to believe the corporate world, when they see proper development programs being done, they are prepared to come in.
And the other time we had a conversation with the former technical director, and his other grievance was that there is so much understaff within the technical director's office, whereby you end up as the technical director, uchita basa uri one, rukufana 6. And has there been any change with you coming into office? Do you have the supporting personnel kupusha basa renyu kana kuti ndimi muri wani muri kutongomhanya zvinhu zvese?
No, certainly my predecessor had a very awkward and difficult situation because he didn't have support staff. But now through the regulations of FIFA financing, using the FIFA Forward program, FIFA is instructed and made sure that the offices are staffed first before they give you any kind of support.
Okay.
So they've put in place officers, they've allowed us to employ officers, qualified officers for the positions we've got. Like now we've got the head of coach education, we've got talent development scheme officer, the one who looks about the elite youth talent from 15-17, but basically it deals with everyone from under 13 right up to the under 21 team. So we've got that. We've got the women's desk officer, we've got the competitions officer, we've got the two licensing officers, the one the FIB and the one who does the licensing for clubs. So we are reasonable well staffed to work. But the problem is our work is not in the office. Our work is outside there. So we need to have personnel outside there who are actually hands-on.
And the resources as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in this endeavor, we've tried to reach out. We've reached out to the SRC, and then they've advised us to reach out to their offices. They've got offices of district sports coordinators. So we are reaching out to those to make sure that at least we have our hand there, and they are prepared to assist us. Yes, but there's a lot of work to be done because we need people who are good enough, qualified enough, deservingly to be in those positions, but they need to be remunerated. Yes.
All right, and Imemi as the technical director in terms of SMA development programs and the remuneration, those supporting personnel in our provinces and districts, had you set up maybe a rough budget as to the figures that you are expecting to be working with this year?
Yeah, we did. In our long-term strategic plan, which will be brought out now. I think all of this is there.
Yes.
All these plans that we have, and because we will say maybe we use the year to make an analysis.
Yes.
And see what we can put in place. And that is so what we've put in that long-term strategic plan is what we believe from our perspective and from what the information we collected could be. This information is including the stakeholders, because if you remember, we went out and had meetings with the stakeholders,
yes.
and we have continually been engaging them. Yes.
All right. And also when you came, you were talking about trying to create equal opportunities in terms of remuneration for the female footballers and their male counterparts. How much have you gone? And also looking at issue equity in terms of development and grassroots, there isn't much women football. So how have you been trying to maybe address some of these issues?
Yes, this is the main reason why we have said we need to have a district
yes.
technical officer,
yes.
female and male.
Yes.
And we had a discussion with some former players, especially the Rio Olympic team.
Yes.
And there's a project that we wanted to do with them.
Okay.
Yes, so we have got something that we've put in place, but we are looking at all the people who can assist us in that, because yes, it's true, the girl child is lagging behind. We need to break the barriers, because parents, we've got an issue of parents being traditional,
yes.
that the girl is not supposed to be playing football,
Confined
running around
to the
boys.
kitchens.
Yes, yeah. So we need to break that kind of a barrier. Two, the issue of safeguarding. I'm happy that at least FIFA is emphasized and Zifa is emphasizing seriously the issue of safeguarding.
Yes.
Parents want to be sure
yes.
their girl child is safe. So obviously, for the environment only, they need to see women there.
Yes.
They want to see a woman coach, a woman manager, and all that. But it's not all that the men perpetuate any safeguarding issues. No, it's yes, things have happened, precedents have been set, but we need to break that and clean the place, and make the parents understand that even a male coach can deal with a female child without any issues.
Zvakunakidza kai zvitowana mabasa sema-safeguarding officer. I'm actually one of the qualified safeguarding officers. And also, per issue of safeguarding, everyone tends to think of the issue of sexual harassment. But there is also even issue of language, how the coach relates with the players. Kutotuka mwana uri touchline, that needs a safeguarding officer. This is not it. Because according to our regulations, we don't allow even verbal abuse.
Yeah, no. It's people must understand there's a difference between safeguarding
yes.
and security.
Yes.
Yes. So safeguarding is more detailed.
Yes.
It's more in depth.
Yes.
Because you're actually dealing with simple issues of a child, the distance that they walk from home
yes.
to the playing field. You know, what kind of people they associate with, they move around with, the environment at the place where they are training. What is the environment like? Yes. Is it free from people who are just hanging around and all that? So it's quite good. But the good part is anyone can access the safeguarding. This is why we are slowly saying each one of us who is involved in football must have safeguarding.
Yes. And Matotunza, to the next issue that I wanted to touch on. When we look at Nyayezema distances, there is that issue, especially like last year, Yekuti Vana traveled from Zimbabwe to for their my games away, Kosafa and they traveled by bus. And then it never vakaenda ku South Africa vaskana the junior national team. They came back by bus. Rangaraka Zara, even the public passengers. So, Imim as the technical director, what's your sentiment in the situation yakadaro, and are we looking at these issues being addressed maybe this year?
Yeah, certainly. The sad part is people out there in the media, they like, should I say, exaggerating, or I don't know what word I can use. But the honest truth is, the situation we're in, we don't have enough finances to be able to move our teams the way we are supposed to.
Yes.
Like in this case of the under-17s going to South Africa, we're supposed to travel by bus according to our budget.
Yes.
So a sympathizer, one of the parents of the players, heard that we were traveling by bus, and then they came and then they offered, okay, I can ask colleagues to assist, and then we can fly you to South Africa, which was a very good and noble gesture.
Yes.
So this is December. So they went, our managers went there, and then they went and they managed to book flights.
Yes.
But they were told December is a busy time. You cannot have an uncertain booking. So you have to have a fixed date booking, because you can't have an open booking because the flights are busy. So now we could only fly there knowing we are flying there. Now we are going to compete. So we couldn't say the tournament is ending on Friday, the group games. If we win, we are going to play on Sunday or Monday.
Yes.
If we win, we are going to play. So we couldn't say we are coming back on this day. So we couldn't reserve our return tickets. This is why the airline said you cannot.
Yes.
We have to book. Now, after we had played and then we eventually came out of the camp.
Yes.
Now, COSAFA rules is you finish your games today and you don't qualify, first thing in the morning, you must leave.
Yeah.
Now, after the games are played and confirmation is done that we are no longer proceeding, the managers go to the airliners and they want to book for flights the following day. The flights are 3 days fully booked. You could only get a flight after. Now, COSAFA can't accommodate you, doesn't accommodate you.
Yes.
So for those 3 days, we had to accommodate the kids and feed them.
Okay.
So now we decided, okay, let's find a way back. Let's go and hire a bus, right? The managers went, they wanted to hire a bus. The bus people said, you want a bus? No problem. There is a bus.
Yes.
But you're going to pay, the flights have gone, the fares have gone up.
Yes.
It's holiday season, we are busy. So they doubled the fares for a single ticket to Harare. And they wanted us to pay a return ticket, because they're saying our bus can't take you there, we don't know.
Yes.
It's going to return without people.
Yes.
So you're going to pay to Harare and back. And now we're only paying for half the bus, because we had only about 32 people there. So we looked at the expense that was there, it was basically as good as flying. So now the sympathizer we had assisted, and we couldn't ask him to do that.
Yes.
Was why. So in the end, we went and negotiated with the bus people. Can we cash the bus and allow us to have the back of the bus?
Okay.
And then the kids were allocated, the team was allocated the whole back of the bus. They took their first feet, and then they filled up the front. And they traveled. There was nothing wrong with that kind of traveling.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's only that, I don't know, sometimes it's like we exaggerate issues. I mean, people talking about people going to Namibia by bus.
Yes.
Malawi
Yes.
went to Namibia by bus. Zambia went to Namibia by bus. Mozambique went to Namibia by bus. Lesotho and Swaziland went to Namibia by bus.
Okay, saka takatarisa ipapo on this issue of having challenges booking my flights are uncertain. Isn't it that the purpose of having a calendar, you have the guide, we have this tournament, and then maybe you try to book way in advance to avoid these last minute rushes. We are fully booked.
Yeah, the unfortunate part is in our own way, we have got issues because of financial challenges. That are we possibly going to be able? We have the calendar, we know, but the secretariat and the NC, they will be busy also running around looking for money. They know that, like right now, we know we are going to play, the Mighty Warriors are going to play for the World Cup qualifier. Yes. Started in December. They have been running around trying to get finances. So it's unfortunate. People don't understand. People think FIFA is giving us money. FIFA is not giving us money to take part in these competitions. They only assist us to a certain extent. Only. But we don't have the resources right now to make.
And maybe this issue, we have to go out there to look for funding towards certain competitions. Do you feel that our marketing team is doing enough? We don't have our all-weather friends. Maybe if it's maybe if it's in-score, tine in-score yedu inotoziva kutoti according to our calendar tine ma-tournaments 1, 2, 3 and they are ready, they are waiting kuti zvinhu zvedu zvingofamba. Why is it that we have to go back to out there teaching with a begging bowl towards competitions?
Yeah, I think to be fair to the marketing team, I think the environment was toxic. The corporate world had turned their back on football. So now it was working hard enough just for the corporate world to turn around and look at Zifa.
Okay. Yeah, I do get it.
Yeah. So, and then after that, that's when they can see that we are doing something, we are cleaning up our act, we are doing things the way they feel they can interact with us.
Okay.
And then they will come in.
Okay.
Yes.
And looking at my Warriors this year, they are going for AFCON.
Yes.
And government already came out last year and they pledged something towards the preparations to go AFCON. How much did they play? Did the government pledge? And do you feel that's enough, or you still have to go and look for more funds?
Yeah, no, they pledged, I think, is it $1 million?
Yeah.
For top-notch preparations, it might not be enough. But so we are just basing on, I think, two important things. One is that our players locally can play at a high level. Our football, the standard of football must be a top-notch standard, better than last year. I'm not satisfied with what was there last year. I think we can still perform better. So this is so that when the coach is inheriting these players, he's inheriting players that are at a higher level. Yes. So, and we also pray that our players in the diaspora, they can keep their places in the teams and play as regular as possible, so that by the little time that the coach has to put them together, but they are in a good condition to perform better. Okay. So I think what's very important is for us to make sure that our local league improves the quality of the game, and that our players outside, they can avoid injuries and they can play as regular as possible.
Okay. And lastly, maybe taidambotasa issue yema players nema agents.
Yes.
From my understanding, we have very few FIFA registered agents, FIFA approved agents in Zimbabwe. And Imimi, as the technical director, when we talk of an agent, what are we talking about? And the relationship maybe between a player and an agent.
Yeah, from my understanding, the agent takes care of a player's needs and a player's career. He is solely responsible for taking him from A to B. And a player must have a contract with the agent. The proper agent-player contract is not that the agent will take the player from A team to B team. Yes. He has to make sure that he gets a good contract. Yes. He has to take care of him when he's out of contract. Yes. Because he benefits from the player the moment that he moves. Mm. He has to make sure that the player stays in a top-notch condition. Yes. So he has to be liaising with the he must watch the player playing and know what the player is doing, know how the player is doing and all that. He must be in a situation like that. But the agent, because of what he makes at the end of the day, he must invest. Yes. Right now it's said you have your son, yes, and then somebody says he's your son's agent. But when your son is going for trials, you are buying the boots for your son. Yes. You are transporting your child to go for trials, and the agent is sitting there. When the child is eventually now taken up, the agent now appears. Yes. He wants to collect the money. All right. So who is the agent between you and him? Because you are looking after the child. So those are his duties. Yes, you might say you've got a player manager, but a player manager is somebody who can just help the player to interact. Okay. But the agent, because he's licensed, they know what they're supposed to do according to the FIFA rules of an agent.
Okay, and also looking at IWOMA FIFA rules of an agent, is there a certain percentage you are entitled to take signing yeplayer yakhe, or it's all to the discretion ya player na agent wake?
Yeah, it's the agreement that the player has with the agent, because the team, you must know the team is involved in there. It's got a certain amount of money, a percentage that he has to take. And for your own information, the association is supposed to get something from every transaction that happens between the player when he moves outside the country.
Okay, and looking at our Zimbabwe football landscape, my players, Edu, especially these professional players, do they all have my agents, or umwana gona kutongotamba life yake yesa astombori na agent and ashinaka na problem?
Most of them, I want to believe most of them don't have agents. I think the basic issue is because they don't really understand what an agent is supposed to do.
Okay.
So what I would advise, maybe in conjunction with FAS, to educate the players on what an agent is supposed to do, on what their relationship and the agent can produce, and what the relationship should be. So,
then tinombonzwa ma-situations ekuti when it comes especially to national team selections, there is also influence yema-agents varoda kuti ma-players avo vawane ma-caps so that they earn more value in the event yekuti vakuvatengesa especially beyond borders. How far true is that?
I've heard about it, but honestly I've never experienced it. Unless if it's being done discreetly. I've never experienced it, because I've seen the way we call players. We actually call players according to what the coach says. So the coach comes and says, may I have these players? And we, from the management side of the team, we call the players out for the coach. So it's the coach who actually sits down and says, he wants this player, he wants this player, he wants... I have never seen a situation where somebody else comes in and says, no, can you bring this player? I've yet to experience it.
Yes.
I've heard about it a lot.
Yes.
But that's why I'm saying maybe it's happening somewhere discreetly, but with my own eyes and what I can put my hand on, I have never experienced anything like that.
Okay.
Yes.
And maybe just to wind up, your words to the fans, your words to the football stakeholders, your words to the corporate world ahead of the 2025 season.
I'm pleading with our football followers. They are the ones who cry a lot. They must have patience. Things are taking a turn. We are pleading with the corporate world to please look at us. We are trying to turn things around. Football, what it is now, is a business. It's a career. So we want to make sure that these kids from a young age get an opportunity to get their space in this business of football as a career. We would like the corporate world to really look at us and support us. We need them, because this is a big industry. If we take good care of it as an industry, you will see the returns that will come in. It will change the environment in the football world. And we pray that the people who, our stakeholders, who affect and effect the running of football, they do take noble decisions